Hello everyone. Today let's take a wonderful journey back in time to explore something small, but full of history. Malaysia's lovely copper-colored coins. It's amazing to think about how these little pieces of metal connect us to our past, telling stories of trade, sultans, and the birth of our nation. We might not see the 1 sen coin much anymore, but its story is a fascinating one that begins long before Malaysia even had a name. This journey will show us how money has changed in our land, from simple items used for trade to the familiar coins we once carried in our pockets and wallets every single day. Long before the British arrived, the Malay archipelago was a busy hub of trade and commerce. People here had their own unique systems of money. Instead of coins like we know them, they often used other valuable items. In some places, traders used beautiful seashells, precious beads, or even blocks of salt as a form of currency. These items were considered valuable and could be exchanged for goods like spices, cloth, and food. Each region had its own preferred type of money, which shows how diverse and developed the early kingdoms of this land were, long before the first metal, coins, became common. In certain Malay states like Kelantan and Terengganu, people did use a form of coin. These were often called pitis or kupang. Some were made from tin, which was a plentiful resource in the region, and they came in various shapes and sizes. Sometimes they looked like small rings or even animals like a fighting cock. There were also gold coins, known as kupang, used by the sultans and for bigger, more important transactions. While these early coins existed, they were not standardized like modern currency, and their use was often limited to specific kingdoms or trading ports, making each one a unique piece of local history. So, were there copper coins during this early period? It's interesting to note that while tin and gold were more common, some early coins did use copper or a mix of metals that included copper. For instance, Chinese traders brought with them their own cash coins, which were round with a square hole in the middle and often made of bronze or brass, which are copper alloys. These kepeng, as they were sometimes called locally, were used in trading ports like Malacca. This shows that the warm, reddish-brown color of copper money was already making an appearance in the region, setting the stage for the coins that would come later. The story of our copper coins really begins to take shape during the British colonial period, when the British established the Straits Settlements, comprising Singapore, Penang, and Malacca. In the 19th century, they wanted to create a more organized and unified system of money for trade. This was when the first official, mass-produced copper coins were introduced to the region. These coins were minted in places as far away as Great Britain and India, and then shipped over to be used here. This marked a major shift from the locally made tin and gold coins of the past, paving the way for a modern currency system. These new coins were designed to be used across the different territories under British influence. The first ones were issued for the Straits Settlements, and they included denominations like the quarter-cent, half-cent, and 1-cent coins, all made from copper. These coins featured the portrait of the reigning British monarch on one side, such as Queen Victoria. The other side typically showed the value of the coin and the words Straits Settlements, making it clear where the currency was from. This was a completely new look, and for the first time, people across different states started using the same, recognizable money. Later on, as British influence expanded, a new currency for British Malaya or Malaya and British Borneo was created. The coins for this era also included copper, and later, bronze 1-cent coins. A very famous design from this period is the square-shaped 1-cent coin. Can you imagine a coin that isn't round? These square coins were introduced in 1920 and were quite unique. They still featured the British monarch's name and title, but their distinctive shape made them easy to identify. They were used for many years, right up until the period leading to our country's independence. The materials used for these colonial coins were chosen to be durable and affordable to produce in large quantities. Pure copper was used initially, but it was later replaced by bronze, which is an alloy of copper and tin. Bronze is harder than pure copper, so the coins lasted longer in circulation without wearing out too quickly. This practical decision ensured that the coins could withstand the rigors of daily use in markets, shops, and ports, all across the Malay Peninsula and Borneo. These sturdy bronze coins became a familiar part of everyday life for generations of people living under British rule. After Malaysia achieved its independence in 1957 and was formed in 1963, one of the most important steps was to create our very own national currency. This was a powerful symbol of our new identity and sovereignty as a nation. The old colonial coins were gradually phased out, and in 1967, Bank Negara Malaysia introduced the first series of Malaysian coins. Among them was the coin that would become a household staple for decades, the iconic 1 sen coin. This little coin represented more than just its small value. It was a piece of our national pride that everyone could hold in their hands. The design of this first 1 sen coin was beautifully and thoughtfully done. On one side, it proudly displayed the brand new Malaysian Parliament building, a powerful symbol of our country's democracy and independence. Above the building, a crescent moon and a 13-pointed star represented Islam as the official religion in the 13 states of Malaysia at that time. The other side of the coin showed the denomination 1 SN and the year it was minted, surrounded by a lovely pattern of hibiscus flowers, our national flower. It was a design that was completely and proudly Malaysian. This first series 1 sen coin was made of bronze, just like some of its colonial predecessors. Bronze, being mostly copper, gave the coin its familiar reddish-brown, copper-like color. This choice of material provided a sense of continuity, as people were already used to the look and feel of bronze coins from the British era. These coins were minted to be strong and durable, meant to be used for everyday transactions, from buying a single sweet at the sundry shop to paying for a bus ticket. For many years, the gentle jingle of these bronze coins was a common sound in markets and shops all over Malaysia. The release of the first Malaysian coins was a truly historic moment. It meant that we were no longer reliant on a foreign power for our currency. Every time someone used a 1 sen coin, they were participating in our nation's new economic system. These coins circulated for over 20 years, from 1967 until 1988, becoming a familiar part of life for an entire generation of Malaysians. They witnessed the country's rapid development and growth, and for many people these old bronze coins bring back fond memories of a simpler time. They are a true testament to the beginning of our journey as an independent nation. As Malaysia continued to grow and modernize, so did our currency. In 1989, Bank Negara Malaysia introduced the second series of coins. This new series brought about a significant change for our humble 1 sen coin. The cost of metals like copper and tin had been rising steadily around the world. It eventually reached a point where the value of the metal in the bronze 1 sen coin was actually worth more than its face value of 1 sen. To solve this problem, the decision was made to change the material of the coin to something more affordable. The new 1 sen coin introduced in 1989 was made of copper-clad steel. This means it had a core of steel that was coated with a thin layer of copper. This clever change allowed the coin to keep its traditional copper color, so it still looked familiar to everyone, but it was much cheaper to produce. The design was also updated slightly. While the Parliament building remained, the overall look was simplified and modernized. This practical decision ensured that the 1 sen coin could continue to be minted and used without the government losing money on its production, reflecting how economic realities can shape even the smallest things. Did you know that there are some rare and special Malaysian coins that collectors love to find? For example, in the first series of coins, some were accidentally minted with a small security feature, a tiny edge with the words Bank Negara Malaysia inscribed on it. These milled edge coins are quite rare and valuable. Another interesting collector's item is the 1976 1 sen coin. For some reason, fewer coins from that specific year have been found in perfect uncirculated condition, making them a prize for any serious collector. It just goes to show that even a common coin can have a hidden story. Today, with the rise of digital payments and the rounding mechanism introduced in 2008 that rounds cash transactions to the nearest 5 sen, the 1 sen coin is no longer in circulation. We don't really use it in our daily lives anymore. However, the journey of this small copper-colored coin is a beautiful reflection of Malaysia's own story. From the early trade items and sultanate coins, through the colonial era, to the proud moment of minting our own national currency, and finally adapting to a changing world, this humble coin has seen it all. It remains a cherished piece of our heritage and